Hello, gardeneers. Welcome to another garden interview. I'm here today with Niels and Jamie Peet, sorry, both from the Netherlands. If you're new here, please subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos. So, you two guys met in 2017. Well, you played for the first time as a duo in 2017 during the Mondrian Jazz Festival. When was it that you first met and decided to make music together?
The first official gig I think we had was in Paradox, Tilburg. Like we used to bump into each other a lot at different concerts or festivals, or sometimes we both played in the same band. And then during the sound checks, always like some fun stuff happened. And then after a certain number of shows, we were like, let's try this. Let's just try to do a show just based around all the stuff we do in sound checks and see how that will be. And then I did a session there. So I had like 45 minutes of playtime. I invited Jamie, and then we sort of jumped into the deep and tried it for the first time, and it was really fun.
Yeah. That was basically the first like fully like improvised set.
Yeah.
And then Mondrian came along and asked us for like official the premiere of the duo.
Yeah.
And that was 2017. Yeah.
Yeah. So ever since, you've always been sort of making music together as a duo, aside from other projects that you have as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you, Niels, you were involved with the Kiteman Orchestra, amongst other projects. But how do you guys manage to work with all these different projects?
It's a bit hard to say like one or two specific things, but you sort of work towards that. And during your musical career, if that's a word you can even use, you try to play with people you like and play the music you like and try new stuff constantly, and that's how you sometimes get connected with other great musicians.
Yeah.
And then that kind of goes on. Someone else hears you play with that band. They ask you for that band. And you sort of have to be your own curator in that. And if you do that, it sort of, can take you further and further and further and further. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think there's a difference with networking compared to the Netherlands and other countries? Because Netherlands, it's a very small country. So I feel like it's easier for musicians to network and know of each other and then to be able to work.
Right. Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's really handy in the Netherlands that if you play a lot with a certain band, people will notice you and maybe ask you for your own projects or for different stuff. You kind of constantly bump into each other at gigs and stuff, which sort of makes the bond really tight with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I presume as well, especially in the jazz scene, since it's a lot of improvisation already with the music itself, but I guess with projects that comes alongside as well.
Yeah, and improvisation is a really easy concept to introduce new people in or to try new stuff because it's so open.
Yeah.
And that's the way how that stuff goes sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. You both started playing music at a very young age. So you picked up the piano at the age of 4 and you the drums at the age of 5. Yeah. Do you remember at what age you maybe started composing your own songs?
My own stuff that came later. I always try to incorporate my own sound into my playing first. And then gradually that grew towards writing original stuff, original music. And it sort of morphed into that for me completely now. I only do original projects or like I only play my own music in different groups.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the question again?
When did you start composing?
When did it start? I don't know. I think I had a very cool first band at 14, 15, and that's the first band I wrote my own stuff with, and we jammed around a lot. And I think that was the first one for me.
Yeah.
How about you, Jamie? Do you know?
I mean, composing as in music, I just started with literally making my own songs. But just before that, I'm mostly just. I'm able to make up my own parts as a drummer with every band I play with because it is eventually original music.
Yeah.
Mostly that I do. So that, but like actually making my songs, I just started composing actually.
Okay, just now. Yeah. Nice. And are you both from musical families, which would explain maybe how you both got into music at a young age, or not at all? It was just music was a calling to you guys.
Yeah, my dad is a bass player, and so that was music in the house was from a young age.
Yeah.
Various styles of music, and so that
So would you say that influenced you to then pursue this career?
completely, yeah. It was completely normal to do this. I always knew I was going to the music school and conservatory, like at a very young age. I knew I was going there. So
Okay, yeah.
I had my plan.
Yeah, yeah. And your family was always supportive?
Yeah, completely, 100% supportive. Yeah,
Yeah, nice.
that's not how you say. That's not. No, it's not exactly. Yes, it's not for granted.
Yeah.
I see now. I see it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how about you, Niels?
Yeah, same. My mom and dad used to sing in choirs, and there was always music at the house. My dad played a lot of records, and then he took a lot of CDs when he went to his job. When he came back, he went to the library and like took new CDs with him every time. And like he took a Steely Dan record. Yeah, that was in Utrecht. You had a very cool library with lots of music. And then I remember he took like Steely Dan home, Herbie Hancock, Miles Davis. And that's how I sort of grew into it. And then I was also very lucky that, my parents were really behind it. They wouldn't push it. But, and they wouldn't even like talk about it a lot. Like you need to do this. They kept me completely free.
Mm-hmm.
So it always felt like a thing for myself.
Yeah.
But they were very supportive. Like when I had gigs, they would drive me, and this, thinking back at it, that's done so much. You know?
Yeah.
It's such a lucky thing to have.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's important to have a supportive background. For
Definitely,
that.
Yeah. And so it always was a bit fun. Like I had some years that I stopped, that I didn't like it anymore, and then picked it back up.
Mm-hmm.
But that's sort of like a natural progression.
Yeah.
Teenagers have as well. So it's good that there was the room to do that. And
Of
then
course,
come
yeah.
back to it, yeah.
Yeah. And did you both really start with the jazz background, or was it another genre that you started off with?
Like I started with all the typical. Back then, you would play keyboard, so and then you would have a keyboard that had like 300 pre-programmed rhythms in it and styles. So that was always a good way to learn those styles. And then my first band, it was just really fun to jam around as well, and I really liked improvisation at that age. And I found some people that wanted to do that as well, so that's sort of how the improvisation thing started, and I just really like to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you start mixing the electronic with jazz in your music?
For me, it's always a bit hard to answer, because like what exactly are styles, or you know, you have that thing, but I feel like jazz is more of a way of playing, or like maybe even a mindset, or a way of living, even if you want to go there. And music is a very cool medium to find that freedom in. So in a certain way, it's always there. But I don't think we're really super conscious about blending certain sounds. I think we just choose the sounds we like. And like I use a lot of synths, because a synth is very inviting to sort of imagine your own sounds and then get to know those sounds and then play around with them, and they feel really like you really feel like you own those sounds in a way.
Yeah.
And that's something you can keep doing. Same goes with you, right?
Elaborate a little bit on that. The thing is that you are very conscious about your sound, like beautiful, like insane synth sounds, and combining with me just being acoustic works really well. We found out, because it has the organicness, but also the very sample thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a beautiful blend, like acoustic and electronics, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You've both been in the industry for a while now. What are the biggest challenges you have faced so far?
Money. No, honestly, it always feels really stupid to talk about that, because it's so relative in the country where we live in, and of course the extreme wealth we have. But money is a challenge, because it's the more you play your own stuff, or the more you trying to find a sort of niche sound or your own sound. At the same time, you sort of need to create your own market, and it takes time. And you need some time to sort of wiggle around in that, so I used to always mix stuff, so do more session work, and then gradually do more of my own stuff, and then. But I would say that's a challenge, so practical stuff and money, because like music, if you like the concept behind your band, or you like the music that you're playing, it's really nice to do, and you almost never leave a gig in a negative space, or that's never the problem. The music, it's always practical stuff, and that's sometimes hard to manage and sometimes not. And like it's I feel as a musician, you sort of need to find a way to de-weaponize the stress that comes with that, and like learn to deal with it, and that gets easier as well. Like playing, it's also something you learn and you get better at, I would say, right? It's a fine balance, and you need to find a good balance between being able to live comfortably and sometimes not, but it's for a higher goal or whatever. Yeah.
How about you? Do you have any challenges you'd like to share?
Well, I guess it's very important to have like a vision about music and know what you like, and being inspired. Try to stay inspired also. I think that's not difficult for me, but I probably, if some students mostly come up with this stuff, like what should I check, or what is vision, or so. I think that's very important as an artist to think about it and really find who are you?
Yeah. How would you stay inspired, if you could give any tips to any musicians starting?
Stay open-minded for sure. Don't close off some musical genres or whatever. Close off your vision in the world. Stay open-minded and try to,
Yeah, like I feel like at a certain point in music, it's really about. It starts to be a bit more about discipline, and always, most of it is about keeping your mind right, and sometimes that's hard, to sort of. Hugo is almost falling down the stair. No, like stuff can get in your mind, and that can mess a bit with the freedom in your mind, and then you start to doubt stuff. And of course, when you're playing, you always have nerves, and you have a certain type of anxiety that you need to manage. So those things are a challenge.
Yeah,
a lot of it is headspace stuff, and especially with improvisation, because like when you're too insecure, you're gonna play a different way than when you're happy, and you're sort of happy where you are musically.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So that's something that's why we almost never rehearse, because we never rehearse, because every time we do it, we sort of we notice that we really tend to grasp what it is that works or what it is that doesn't work, and then you start to think from a different space in your head. You sort of start to think you really want effect from what you're doing, or like you start to want something out of it, and that's most of the time that's a very bad guide for you.
Okay.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is mental.
Yeah. So what is your creative process like when it comes to composing? Because I guess, there must be a difference between when you're creating a new project / once it's done and you want to start preparing it to then perform it.
Yeah. Those are two different headspaces as well. And we tried that a few times to make tracks. And for example, recorded music feels like a different medium. So for a record, we tend to really work at songs like in a musical program with lots of how do you say that, like edit stuff, take stuff out, play new stuff, right? We sort of do that because on a record it feels we're still looking for a good way to play improvised music, and also it being something on its own on a record. Those are two different worlds. So I feel like complete improvisation works very well live because the audience is there, and it's a sort of you feel the audience and you feel the energy they send, and you react to that constantly.
Yeah. So you feed off a lot from the energy of the audience.
Yeah, that's really cool when playing live, and like something happens in the band, or we find a new progression, and you hear something in the somebody in the audience go whoa, and that gives you a sort of like energy to go on with that idea. Stuff like that sometimes happens, which is cool.
Yeah. Which artists would you say inspired you a lot, or influenced you a lot as well?
This is always a hard question because you're always gonna leave people out that are the biggest inspirations. But for me, it can be literally anything, not per se music as well, but also books or philosophy or politics even, or like stuff that happens in the world, or it can be anything that sort of gets your mind going or gives you a new insight into something. But music-wise, I sort of go in and out. Like I have periods where I try to discover a lot of new music, and I have periods where I'm just a very basic music listener. I just listen to which songs I really feel and I really like, and so I go back to D'Angelo, Voodoo, for example. Even though we both have listened to the record 10,000 times already, but so I sort of go in and out of listening to, like actively trying to find new music, and listening to maybe what you've listened when you were 16 or 17, just because it has an emotional reason to it, and that can be anything. I feel like not a specific genre.
Yeah. How about you, Jamie?
Well, to make it a little bit more specific, because I agree what you said, because it can be literally anything. Like it could be, but like for example, Coltrane, John Coltrane. For me, is the music of him is very inspiring and deep.
Yeah.
Lately, like the last couple of years, I've been really into classical music. So that opened up my ears in a completely different way, also, and stayed inspired for this new development or whatever.
Yeah. Is there any specific drummer that you really look up to, and that might have influenced your way of playing?
There's many. No, there's many. But I'm probably gonna mention Brian Blade then. You know him?
No.
He could literally play like any genre, like pop, beautiful groove based, but also like free jazz. Played in the last Wayne Shorter quartet.
Yeah.
And it's so dynamical, so deep playing, like touch is incredible.
Yeah.
I've seen him lately in the BIM House with Wolfgang Mutzspiel. I was so inspired by his playing. Incredible. Brian Blade, go check him out.
Nice. If you guys could collaborate with any artist, who would it be?
For me, Andre 3000, Frank Ocean, D'Angelo, Madlib, people like that. A lot of jazz giants, but also songwriters, like so many people. I don't know. It's not a certain J Dilla, but unfortunately that's not possible. How about you?
Erika?
Oh, yeah.
Mono Neon. Joel Ross.
What are your future projects looking like? Are you guys working on new songs? Can we expect a new EP or an album or some tours?
So we're gonna do a session with GÂRDEN soon. That's first highlight, and then now we're gonna try to record a new album or EP, something we don't know yet, in the upcoming months. And like most of the time, December, January, February is very there's not a lot of playing going on, so that is always a good time to write new stuff.
Okay.
I'm gonna work on a new Roll record. That's a new project I have with a friend called James Zhu. But I think the main thing is, we're gonna try to record a new album for next year.
Nice.
Hope it works out.
Yeah.
can I say this? I can say this. We recorded like the last gig in Bimhouse, but in for Amsterdam dance event together also with Otis Sanjo, a saxophone player, and there's some good stuff on it. So we might use some.
Okay, cool, exciting, yeah. Before I go on to the fast-paced questions, this is going to be a hard one, but I want you guys to give me one word that would best describe you guys as a duo. Yeah.
Purtak!
What was that?
What he
Purtak?
What he said.
All right, great. Okay, fast-paced questions. Maybe if you prepare the mic and you can... Boop, boop.
Yeah.
Favorite season of the year?
Autumn.
Spring.
Favorite dish?
There's so many. Indonesian food.
Yeah, I was good. Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet or salt?
Both.
Salt.
Cats or dogs?
Cats.
Yeah.
Thank you.
City or countryside?
For me, countryside.
City.
You guys both live in Amsterdam, right?
No, I live in the south, in Brabant.
In Brabant. But you live in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
What is your
since recently, but yeah.
favorite place in Amsterdam or bar? And for you can think favorite place in Brabant.
In Brabant?
It's fast-paced. Tick, tick,
Yeah,
tick, tick, tick. We can skip to the next one. Yeah?
Yeah. I'm gonna dox my my hometown when I say
Beers or cocktail?
beers.
Beers.
Beers or wine?
Beers.
Depends. Good
Yeah.
wine.
Pepsi or Coca-Cola?
Coca-Cola, hands down.
Cola.
Bitterballen or kroketten?
Kroketten.
Croquette.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Coffee.
Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Sowieso.
Yeah. And finally, recording or performing?
Ooh.
Performing for Jamie?
Yeah, that's something I really can choose because I like both really well.
Yeah.
Really like a lot, and it's so completely different. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
No
Well,
answer.
that's everything I have for you guys.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to like this video and you can rewatch their live stream over and over again. And if you create a free Garden account on garden.stream, you can access their unplugged track for exclusive content. See you next time. Bye-bye.